Morning, YouTube. It's another day. When nobody tells you about starting from zero, right? It's not the lack of resources or a lack of money. It is the silence. It's the part where you're doing everything right and nobody even knows you exist. It's the part where you're constantly checking YouTube Studio to see what the algorithm is doing, how they're promoting your video. It's the questioning whether you're worthy enough, if you're smart enough to do this. It's the wondering what people will constantly think about you. Here it is. I'm only on my fourth video actually today, this video that I'm recording. And literally, excuse me, let me get this glove. It is cold out here, people. I'm only on my fourth video. And my emotions since video number one were so high, they plateaued, they got low, all because I'm wondering if I have what it takes. But here's the thing, consistency and discipline matters the most. Are you going to continue to show up? The silence is a mental load. The silence is what builds you. It's what builds your discipline, your consistency. You have to block out the naysayers, the negative comments. I haven't experienced negative comments yet. But when I get there, I'll be tasked with, what am I going to do? Am I going to feed into it by responding back negatively? Or am I going to respond with kindness and kill them with kindness? It's easy to get discouraged when you feel like your views aren't there, when you feel like it's the comparison theory. I can't compare myself to somebody who's been doing YouTube for 10 years and got 1 million subscribers. That's not even fair. I can't compare myself to somebody that started last month. They're 30 days ahead of me. Comparison is the thief of joy. This has been absolutely a joy to be on this ride doing YouTube. The power of belief. You're not going to go from 0 to 100. Yeah, I was grateful to have my first subscriber on day one. Whoop-de-doo. Shout out to my first subscriber again. But at the same time, that got my emotions going. Like, oh man, the sky's the limit. Let me see where this goes. Maybe I'll get two on the next video. I did it. Got a couple likes, got a couple views, which is all to the good. I'm learning the algorithm. I'm learning YouTube Studio. But it's crazy how when you hop into this content game, how it easily just takes over your energy. So it's a fine balance of not getting sucked in. Just create and drop it into the atmosphere, the algorithm, because here's the thing. You're going to find your audience. YouTube's going to find your audience. And here's the thing. I'm not doing thumbnails. I'm not doing any editing. Wait till I do that. I'm real raw and uncut right now. This is, well, it's not, I broke my fast this morning. I did 80 hours. And, boy, when I tell you, that last day was rough. But I was in a silence. I was reflecting on day 1 to day 4. When I tell you my energy, what I learned most about this fast was how my energy worked. My energy was depleted because I wasn't consuming food. My body was running on ketones. It was going through I think it's called autophagy. And my sodium, my magnesium was all low. But it's crazy because I literally was laying down yesterday after I completed my third video. I just came in, I was like, man, I'm drained. And for me, I laid down, but the light was still on. When I tell you, it took everything in me just to muster up the energy to go turn off the light. So what I'm getting at is, you have to control your energy. That was my discernment during my fast. Maintaining my energy into what matters most to me. Not giving my energy to certain people. Everybody doesn't deserve your attention. Certain things doesn't deserve your attention. We have to watch what we consume, people. But most importantly, put your energy into something that is going to reward you in the end. We have to get away from instant gratification, right? We have to learn to build. Put drops of deposits into your bank. It's currency. Your energy and time is currency. Silence builds character. Oftentimes we think that we're not making progress. But hell, I got a subscriber. I'm up to 19 views. I'm up to 1,400 impressions on YouTube. I got 2.5 watch hours. Man, I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Because it's all according to his plan. It's divine timing. Sometimes we gotta sit in silence and let the downloads come to you. It may not be overnight, but sometimes it's gonna come to you. That inner voice, that oftentimes when you think you're talking to God, you're really talking to yourself. Heaven and hell is a state of mind. You can believe in hell on earth or heaven on earth. What's within you is going on without you. As above, so below. As within, so without. That's real, people. You have to start tapping into that. Those type of energies. Those type of... Go do your research, man. Pick up a book. I started reading Sean O'Connell's book, Old Boy from Think Media, yesterday, because I really want to take this YouTube thing seriously. I'm really finna get it out the mud with it, you know? And he was talking about how the creator economy is the new type of small business. He was talking about back in 2020 when the vid was happening, you know, the global vid. He was saying how YouTube numbers doubled because we was all at home consuming. We ain't had nothing else to do. I remember that time. It seemed so far ago, but it's one of those things where it's like, man, I was watching a lot of YouTube back then because we didn't have nothing to do. But anyway, going back to the book, he's saying that you can turn your hobby into a passion or your business. You should be marketing your business for whatever. It's the new type of marketing, basically. So, good morning. Oh, so it's new type of marketing for the new small business or global companies as well, Fortune 500 companies. The power of social media is now. The global economy is set to be like it's set to like hit $1 trillion come 2030. If not, it's already there. But even if I get 0.5% of that, man, I'll be cool with that. 1/10 of that, I'll be cool with that. I just want to carve out my slice of the pie. Again, you got to create your own economy, people. But you got to go into the silence. The silence is where, solitude is where big ideas happen. You got to think. Bill Gates started Microsoft in his garage. So did Jeff Bezos with Amazon. Two brothers who had a dream, an idea. Well, let me reverse. An idea, then a dream. And now look, Amazon is damn near, I don't know what size of the GDP that they take up. Microsoft is, Microsoft. They have been around since time immemorial, it seems like. Amazon has had a good run, and they're set to stay around. And they're all building their infrastructure off. You think, man, Amazon is in everything. Healthcare, entertainment. They're pretty much a distribution company at this point, and they got a lock on the game. And I don't see anybody coming to take up any of their market share. I could be wrong though. I don't know everything. What this YouTube journey is telling me is that I need to continue to believe in myself. Don't worry about any of the naysayers. It's funny because yesterday I was doing my walk, and my brother-in-law and his wife, shout out to Dave and the Auntie Abs, they were coming down the hill as I was walking, and they see me with my selfie stick, recording, and they didn't say anything. I continued on my walk, did the video, and I got back to the house. Auntie Abs was like, Tice, I was worried about you gonna slip and fall, out here in the weather. So she thought that I was like watching the video as I was walking on my phone. She didn't know that I started my YouTube video, but she told that to my wife while I was out, walking. And pretty much, so my wife was like, in her mind, she's like, he's not watching the video. She didn't tell her that, but she was like, in my mind, I knew he was recording the video. So she instantly went and looked up my YouTube, my first and last name, obviously. And she was like, I see you got a first subscriber and you got a couple of videos. She didn't say, why didn't you tell me or anything like that. She was just like, I could tell she was just proud of me. The fact that I didn't broadcast it, the fact that I just did it in silence, I'm not mad at Auntie Abs because she told, but at the same time, now she knows. My wife knows, at least. I don't think anyone else in the family knows that I have a YouTube. But for anything, my wife asked me, she said, did you tell anybody? I said, no, I'm not trying to tell anybody. I want to build my YouTube channel organically. I don't want anybody from my family. I'm not going to send out a large group text and say, hey, go subscribe to me. I just think that's inauthentic. It's false growth, I got a story to tell. I got a message to deliver. I'm here to inspire, to influence. I can't influence nobody in my family. I can barely talk to anybody in my family just because they don't see my vision. They're not part of my community. Don't get me wrong, they're part of my community, but my personal ecosystem, nah, that ain't it. So that experience yesterday just taught me, keep going. More people are going to find out for sure. And it's just a matter of what will I do when I get to that point, and once they find out, what's going to be my response, which I'm still trying to formulate in my head, But it was a beautiful experience. I started talking to my wife about YouTube. We were talking about our goals for 2026, and I was just like, hey, I want to see where this goes. I want to see what I can do. But, my content will start expanding because I am going to get off into juicing, showing raw recipes. I'm still going to do my walks because this is my personal intimate time, right? And maybe they'll be separated out into playlists. Juicing, my walks, my recipes, and then I'm going to get into herbalism. So it's going to be, maybe I might do multiple channels, all under, me, with different names. I don't know. But I'm finna master this YouTube thing. I was working with ChatGPT, and it was basically saying that, because, I was having ChatGPT analyze my metrics, my analytics. And it was basically saying, what you're doing in long form, you're keeping people's retention. So I must be doing something right, I know my titles are probably not optimized for curiosity as far as search. But at the same time, I know that I need to work on my thumbnail generation. Right now I'm just uploading the raw videos, no thumbnail. So people aren't clicking on it because of that. And I know that. But again, this first 30 days of the new year is just repetitions, reps. Getting up as many videos as possible. Like I say, my goal is to post 365 days this year. And I want to see the monster that I become. My monster is not maybe beast is not the best word to use. But I want to see how much of a boss I become. Boss, built on self-success. So for me, it's all about, and it's mindset. It's going into the silence, not caring what people think, not caring what people see. It's me being the best version of myself in real time. I am the judge and the jury, right? No one can stop me. So the silence, starting from zero, is basically, you're invisible. And then slowly but surely, little drops of your community will start to accumulate. Then it's like a snowball. You start rolling it downhill. The ball gets bigger. And then before you know it, you're a juggernaut. And, I'm not saying that's going to be next year on January 1st. I'm not saying that's going to be a decade from now. But all I know is if I stay consistent and continue to believe in myself, and if you believe in yourself, you can accomplish anything. And that's anything in life. I remember when I enrolled in college. I had I was on academic probation for, like the first, I think, 2 semesters. And it was a transition period, It was my first time being away from home. It was my first time, having my own dorm room and being able to have, guests over whenever I wanted, It was the drinking that I was exposed to. It was the substances that I was exposed to. Weed, that's pretty much about it, I don't do that anymore, obviously. But it was all these distractions that I had. And after getting off academic probation, I set a goal for myself. I said, man, I'm never gonna do this again. I'm graduating in 4 years because you can't pay to fail, right? And I'm taking up that same mindset right now. I can't pay to fail. I got all this equipment, and I didn't buy a lot of equipment, but this mic was about $300. This selfie stick was probably about $50. My main camera was I think $600. And I bought a couple attachments for the car because I'm gonna start vlogging in the car, just sharing my day with y'all. And I bought all this stuff without being able to use it and implement it. I'm basically paying to fail. You have to work it to your benefit. Do your research. I'm gonna go home today and start looking up how to use CapCut, how to maybe get on Canva and design thumbnails. You gotta get in the reps every day, even if you don't want to. I broke my fast this morning. Well, I woke up this morning I think it was about 6. And I literally was like, man, I do not feel like going for a walk. That was the first thing that came to my head. First thing. And I'm like, nah, Tice. That positive positive affirmations, redirecting my focus. No. You're gonna go downstairs, you're gonna break your fast. I had a big bowl of honeydew. Woo! When I tell you that honeydew was so good, I was chewing slow and deliberately, and my energy came back. I felt alive. And that's no different than what I'm talking about here today on YouTube. I'm biting off small pieces, chewing, digesting, slow and deliberately. This YouTube thing. I'm not biting off big chunks. I'm not trying to post a video, sit on it for a week, learn how to edit, post it. No, you're getting raw, uncut me. Small bite. Chewing it, tasting it, deliberately. Seeing how it tastes. How it's good for my digestion. Every video, when I get the analytics, I'm watching it. My watch time, the impressions, the views. And it's easy, I'm telling you, it's easy to get in your head and be like, man, I'm not making any progress. But I don't know what to look for. I'm learning as I go. I'm watching YouTube videos from other creators, seeing how they do things. You know, one of the toughest things about going no script is that a lot of times you're like, man, where's this conversation finna go? But at the same time, it's like, I'm just passionate. I'll start with a topic and I'll just branch off and I'm just weaving, you know, and I'm just letting it flow. So for those that rock with me, they rock with me. Take what you want from this and leave what you don't. Again, as I always say, show up tomorrow, because I'm going to be here. Silence is the key. You don't got to tell everybody what you're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? I was on the phone with one of my brothers from the lodge yesterday, and he's big into, you know, social media. He knows how to edit and everything. And I said, bro, you know, I need you to give me a tutorial on how to use CapCut, or should I go with DaVinci Resolve? And he was basically saying, like, I'm not there with DaVinci yet, just because I feel like I'll be selling you a dream, you know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to learn it, you know, but it's gonna lead to a dead end. So I got you on CapCut. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm thinking about going all raw, no videos. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, okay, cool, let me know when you're ready. So I was like, yeah, let's set up a time, boom, boom, boom. I'm thinking he gonna be like, oh, you started recording YouTube? What's your channel? Nah, he didn't even say that. But I kind of deferred because I didn't even want to go there with him. I just want him to see once I'm up and running. I'm like 30 videos in, 100 videos in. He see me, he's like, oh, you've been working, my boy. Yeah, I'm doing the work when nobody is watching. Ooh, y'all, it's cold out here. Today's weather is about 17 degrees. But we out here, rain, sleet, or snow. I'm showing up for y'all. But not only y'all, I'm showing up for myself. Because that's the benefit of it. Each day, this is like a time capsule of my journey. I could be able to look back at this. Think about it. My content has been 30 minutes to an hour every day. Think about how much time and content that would be in 365 days. That's a mini, I mean, that is a documentary. That's more than a documentary, you know? And it will be my best moments, some of my lowest moments. I'm not saying I'm gonna get on here every day and be like happy-go-lucky, like inspire. No, I'm here to be vulnerable because it's somebody that is going to experience something that, or resonate with something that I am talking about. I don't know when that's gonna be. One day, one of my videos will go viral. I don't know what that's gonna be for, and I have to come with whatever comes with that. I have to be okay with whatever comes with that. All the positive comments, the negative comments, I have to be okay with whatever goes viral. Whether it's a meme, whether it's something inspirational, or whether it's, you know, just a positive topic that everyone can relate to. You have, with this YouTube game, with this content creation game, you're exposed to the masses. It's no more you can't be closed off. I'm a natural introvert. You know, when I used to tell people all the time, I am an introvert with extrovert tendencies. That's me to the core. That's how I would describe myself. If I had to, you know, design a LinkedIn page, that's what would be my description, or whatever type of biography, rather. That's how I would describe myself. And I think people need to get out of this whole having to be perfect thing. Man, it's times when I'm on here, when I'm talking, and here's the thing, I don't even watch any of my videos. I just hit upload. This is one raw take, no edits. So for me, I try to adjust my pronunciation and my delivery in real time, right? Because I'm not perfect, you know? And if I mumble over a word, I try to stop myself and repeat what I just said correctly. But I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. And I want people to know that you don't have to be polished. That's not the name of the game. Now, sure, maybe I might benefit from doing like a Toastmasters or something, or reading about public speaking, or being comfortable on camera. But I think results and consistency will get you there. You know, constant reps will get you there faster than you going to spend money on X, Y, and Z. Spending things eternally. You got to do the internal work, right? Because it's here for the taking. Nobody's going to invest the time and energy into you. When I have my best thoughts and downloads, it's when I'm sitting in silence, right? When I'm in that meditation state, or when I'm having a reverence with the Most High, right? You know, I spent 34 years on this earth not really having ever read the Bible. You know, don't get me wrong, I grew up in church and everything, but, you know, it's because people wanted me to be there. I didn't ever take the time to really understand what I'm going through, right? I'm not religious at all, but what I will say is this. The Bible is the biggest reality show before reality TV ever existed, right? But the Bible also has, I view the Bible and read the Bible from an esoteric perspective. Because there's real instructions in there. It tells you what to do. It tells you you are the temple. And you have to guard your temple, your entrances of the temple. Your eyes, your ears, your mouth, and your nose, and various other places. But the temple, it's not a physical building, it's you. King Solomon's temple is you. I mean, and it's so subtle too. You know, that's why you have to be in constant study. You know, and that's what I encourage more people to do. In the last year, like I said, I spent 34 years on this earth not really having dived into the Bible. Last year, I really dived into it. Because like I said, I'm on this healing journey. And for me, it's been great. Because I've been learning a lot about myself. But more importantly, between the Bible and sitting in silence, I learned about knowledge itself. And I encourage everyone to study the stars, study the firmament, because we are divine beings with exponential, superhuman powers. There's a lot to this life that they don't want you to know. I mean, what's really down there in Antarctica, behind that ice cap? Why is that so closed off? Why? It's so many things. Why can't people go down in the Grand Canyon? Why are the pyramids so, why don't they tell us everything about that? Why? They gotta be hiding something. They don't want the masses to know how powerful they are. That's neither here nor there. What it's really like starting from zero. It's inspiring. It can be uncomfortable at times. It can be, truth be told, it's an exhilarating feeling. And you also feel numb at the same time because you don't know what to expect. You just throwing paint at the wall to see what's gonna stick. What kind of palette you like. You're creating, but you don't know who's the consumer. You're producing, and you don't know what the end outcome is gonna be. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a lot of reps, trial and error. You gotta see what content is gonna hit. But again, I'm about to get into my fitness journey too. I know my community is gonna be a mixed bag between health, wellness, and consciousness. And somebody's gonna resonate with this, especially as I keep learning, as I get the fundamentals down. You have to get the fundamentals down. You can't run before you walk. You gotta crawl first. And that's what I'm doing. I think if more people would just be okay with learning we get so caught up on trying to see what this person is doing, copy their strategy. For the longest, listen y'all, for the longest, I would watch different YouTube creators, right? And it could be anybody from sewing, it could be anybody from making candles, making soap, homesteaders, people dropping clothing lines, home gardeners, food reviews, something, everything. And it's like, I'll always be like, man, I could do that. They do it, I could do that, right? And listen, man, that ain't about nothing, because that might not be your dream and what your assignment is. Don't get me wrong, you can be inspired by people. And maybe still though, I want to create a holistic brand, a wellness brand. And I believe that is my future. But I'm saying you can't just be consuming everybody's content, because it begins to hijack your thoughts and what you want to do. You start comparing yourself to different people, and it's just like, nah, God didn't put you on this earth for that assignment. And truth be told, that person could be tracing a trend, and you don't know that. It looks good on paper. Yeah, they got all the followers. They're producing content, and they got maybe getting orders and everything. And that's the downside of social media, right? People only show you the good. They don't show you the bad, starting from zero, right? Some people delete their early videos. Why? It's a time capsule. I want people to go back, for my OG subscribers, I want them to be like, man, I was with him when he didn't even know what he was doing, I found beauty in that. I can't wait for the first comment I get where somebody's like, man, I needed to hear this, and I'm truly inspired. I can't wait till you blow up. Or whatever version of that may be, right? I think if we all just took the time to sit still, your identity and ideas will come to you. You have to wait on God's timing. He will deliver what you need to hear. Just wait on him. It'll all come to fruition. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Every day you wake up, go sit in stillness, right? Create time for yourself. A lot of times when I'm not, I'm a victim of it too. We wake up, the first thing we do, we grab our phones. Like, we gotta break that cycle. I did it this morning, even though I literally got my phone before praying this morning. But I made sure I prayed though. Some of y'all ain't even praying. And that's your journey. I'm not here to judge. But literally, I grabbed my phone, and a lot of people do this. We're trying to see the score of the game. We're trying to just see who texted us, who emailed us, what group notification we got, who did this on social media, who did that. And it's just like, have some stillness. Be grateful for the day that you now are about to embark on, because you got another chance to go be great, right? All I'm gonna say is, I love y'all. Take what you like, leave what you don't. I'll be here tomorrow for another very important conversation. And most importantly, go start something today. Go draw, start a hobby, record some content, go apply for a job. Do something for yourself that's gonna move the goalposts for you, for your future, for you to create your own economy, and for you to break out this box. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed day, and I'll get back with y'all. One.